What's good, y'all? President Man. Today we're back here giving another video. This is gonna be me giving a really quick, give you a little quick thought of what I thought of SmackDown, man. WWE SmackDown was indeed tonight, the past night, or tonight. I can't say last night because the day is not over. But anyway, I had to get my other video out today for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, let's just talk about what we just saw. You know what I'm saying? That's my second video of the day, and yes, we did see the show start off with LA Knight, you know what I'm saying, talking a little bit of trash, you know what I'm saying, making sure that Damian Priest is going to be in his corner, you know what I'm saying, because they tagging the night against Solo and Jacob, and they had their little match, and it ended with Solo getting pinned, and then, you know, they all kind of, you know, attacked each other in some way, shape, or form, and then Jacob stood tall, and then Jacob got claymored by Drew McIntyre. Should be a fun match. I've already made my predictions for Backlash, but you know, nothing too crazy, you know what I'm saying? You know, for the go home show, it was just nothing too crazy. Anything else that I wanted to discuss? I ain't gonna lie, this SmackDown had nothing on it. Other than the only other thing that happened of note was Fraxium of Nathan Fraser and Axiom pinning Montez Ford, who had taped up ribs and who was like, funny enough, before it went on commercial, before they did the match, because Nick Aldis was like, yeah, they've only had 2 matches or whatever, but they got a chance to prove themselves tonight going against you two. I guess for a future title match. Now, I'm not a big fan of tag champions getting pinned. Me personally, not a fan of tag team champions getting pinned or champs getting pinned in general. Like, I'm not a big fan of that at all, because it's like this. It's a tag match for the tag team championships, and these rookies basically just pin the tag team champions because they've only had 2 matches, right? So basically you telling us the best tag team, because that's really what you're telling us when whoever's the world tag team champions or WWE tag team champions, you're telling us that this is like the best tag team in the world, they're the hardest to beat and all this other type of stuff. And then these rookies who've only had 2 matches, despite their talents, just beat the goddamn biggest challenge that they have, that's supposed to be their biggest challenge in their career. But you know, some may go with the excuse of, well, Montez Ford has ribs taped up from the TLC match they had 2 weeks ago, so they beat more of a broken down Street Profits than full percent. But I just kind of see this, you know, champs got pinned out of the way. But anyway, only other thing that happened was Charlotte came out there. Promo didn't really say much of anything. Just basically she obviously had something going on in her head though, because she was like, I just had the greatest women's, you know, match in WrestleMania history. Which, if she was talking about her versus Rhea Ripley WrestleMania 39, then I would have been, you know, full behind that. But she was talking about the match she had with Tiffany, and I'm like, yeah, that was at WrestleMania 41 this past year, and I'm like, yeah, that was the complete opposite of the greatest women's match. But anyway, and she basically was asking the crowd why they're booing her, and then the crowd basically booed her and was like, you know, telling her to get up out of there, and she was like, you know, if you guys keep booing me, I'm gonna leave, and then she proceeded to leave, and then Jay Cargill comes out there and tells her to get in the back of the line, basically on the microphone. So I think Jade for the first time got pinned by way of, I guess, distracted by Naomi as she was taking out Tiffany, who was calling or watching the number 1 contenders match between Jade and Nia at ringside and stuff like that. And yeah, so there's still some situations going on there. But other than that, nothing else happened on this show except for what is going to be probably in this title, and that is the main event. And that was John Cena coming out there. The crowd obviously gives him the biggest pop. He's the biggest star on the show. And he comes out there and cuts a great promo, man. He was basically cutting a promo saying that, I think he said everybody between the ages of, which I qualify, 12 through 55, I think he said, your childhood dies tomorrow when he beats Randy Orton, because, you know, people like me and others grew up on Randy Orton and John Cena being at the top of the game. And he said that John Cena basically said there's no doubt that him and Randy Orton are the embodiment or the epitome of like ruthless aggression and stuff like that, and how basically Randy Orton, because you know how initially last week Randy Orton was coming out there tearing down his hustle, loyalty, and respect that John Cena has not been showing, you know what I'm saying? But John Cena basically was saying a promo saying that he is hustle, you know what I'm saying? And he was basically talking about how he was saying he is hustle, he is loyalty, he's respect, and he explained why, and he also explained how Randy Orton is not either one of those things. So he started off with hustle. He said that he hustles because Cena said that he is hustle because he puts in the work. You know what I'm saying? He does his best and gives it his all each and every single time. Meanwhile, Randy Orton is the type of guy who he's the greatest of all. Like John Cena said, he puts in the work and he's the greatest of all time. And Randy Orton is the greatest of all time at wasting his potential, because that's always been a thing in Randy Orton's career about how a lot of people say, like, he could have been he's a big star, but he could have been that much bigger if he would have whether that be put in more work, or whether that be like whether that was just doing more or putting in more work or whatnot, or really caring more, whatever the case may be. He could have been that much bigger of a star, even though he is a big star, but he could have been like, essentially that much bigger if he would have expounded more on his potential that everybody, speaks highly of him. And so he said that, and said that he is hustle. And then he went on to loyalty. He said loyalty is not showing up to work every single week. Loyalty is not, wrestling, basically saying like, you being here every week is not loyalty. You being a WWE lifer and saying you're not going anywhere, that's not showing loyalty. That's getting a paycheck or getting yeah. That's what it was basically saying. Like, you're getting, that's just getting a paycheck. That's just working to get a paycheck. That's not showing loyalty, because loyalty is somebody you can always count on. Loyalty is somebody you can always count on to be there and stuff like that. And John Cena, say he's always showing up, and they was always able to count on him when they needed him and stuff like that. So that is how he is loyalty and how Randy Orton's not. And he said that let me think. Oh yeah, because he was going off of how Randy Orton was saying that he was a piece of furniture in the WWE, like he's like, always there and always that. And John Cena said that, what did he say? He was like the greatest of all time at then he said he was the greatest of all time at doing the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the bare minimum to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing he said. And I think then he moved on to loyalty, and he's like, he said, respect. Then he said respect, and he was like, man, he went kind of crazy, bro, because he said, respect for these people is not basically talking about what you did over the last couple of years, or you and your family, your lineage being in this company, because he was like, nobody knows who his grandfather, Bob Orton Sr., nobody knows who that is. And then he said the only thing that Bob Orton Jr., his dad, Randy Orton's dad, all that he has done is the best thing he ever did was knock up your mother, talking about Randy Orton's mother. So basically creative, that's the only thing he's known for, and that's the only thing he's done. So just completely disrespecting his goddamn family, man. It was freaking crazy. And so he was saying that he is respect, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of forgot a little bit of what he said on. I don't know how I remember the loyalty and the hustle part well. The respect one, I kind of forgot a little bit of what he said towards that ending part. I probably gotta actually. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do what real folks do. You know what I'm saying? Let's do. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring it up, actually, because we can do this. I think we should be allowed, when we need to refresh our memories a tad bit. I think we should be allowed to go on our website machine and go ahead and see what you know what I'm saying. Okay, but let's see. Wait. I want to make sure I get it. Just yeah, they ain't got it in here like I wanted to. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think they got it on here. Yeah. Okay, they don't got it on here. But yeah, basically, Cena was just going in on how the fact that, when Orton last week basically tried to show him that he didn't have that hustle, loyalty, respect that he used to, And Cena just perfectly broke it down about how he's basically still that guy, and ending it what he's been saying, and that's that the last real champ is here, and the this is the last time you're gonna see John Cena, Randy Orton, and you're either on Team John Cena or Team Randy Orton. What I'm saying? This is the last time you're gonna be seeing this match. So then what happened was, I know I missed out some details. You gotta watch it for yourself. But then what happened was a hooded figure went to RKO John Cena, and John Cena, countered it and hit the attitude adjustment, his finisher, and boom, fireman's carry, plants him down in the center of the ring, and essentially thinking that he got the one up on him. But then they played off the role of "you can't see me," because that wasn't even Randy Orton. That was somebody in a mask figure. That was just somebody hooded up in a black hoodie and a mask. What I'm saying? Pretending to be Randy, right? Wearing Randy Orton's hoodie. What I'm saying? And pretending to be Randy Orton, because Orton obviously set it up that way to where John Cena's probably expecting the RKO now, so he sent a little crash test dummy out there. What I'm saying, to get attitude adjusted. And then the real Randy Orton came in the ring and proceeded to give Cena another RKO, third time. I think this is the third time John Cena has gotten RKO by Randy Orton. So Randy Orton got him again, playing off of John Cena's "you can't see me," because basically thinking that you thought you saw the RKO coming, but you really didn't, because that was a decoy, so that because I knew you were going to be expecting me to do that, so I sent a decoy out there, and then I came into the ring and did it. Because at first I was like, oh shoot, I did, because for a split second I was like, oh shoot, he's in the ring, and then I looked at the dude's arms, and I was like, because you saw a little bit of where Orton would have his tattoos, and I was like, that dude's arms look too small. I'm not saying he's skinny, but he did not look big enough to be, knowing how Orton been eating nowadays, especially. He did not look like he was Randy Orton at all. Like I said, he was covered up and stuff like that, obviously. But I was just thinking size wise, when you, like I said, because he had the hoodie where you could still see where Orton's tattoos would be on the forearm. And when I saw his forearms, I was like, and I saw his frame as a whole. I was like, yeah, he's not big enough to be Randy Orton. So I was like, oh, and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't think that was Randy Orton, because he was he looked smaller than Orton. So that's why I was like, I don't think that was him. And then lo and behold, I was right, because then Randy Orton then came up from behind him and did the RKO. But nah, it was a great finish to the show. John Cena basically did a 10-minute promo. I think it went about that long, about almost 10 minutes. And it was just great, man. He just really tore into Randy Orton and basically how all of his shortcomings and stuff like that. And another line that I almost forgot to say was he said, basically, consider what's going to happen to you tomorrow like your drug test in 2006 was, and that is a failure. So, that was freaking crazy. He was basically saying Randy Orton's gonna lose. And that was another way of obviously saying that he's gonna lose at WrestleMania, by saying it's gonna be just like your drug test in 2006. Or you're going to be just like your drug test was in 2006, a failure. So that was nice too, man. That was freaking. That was a goddamn killer line right there, man. But ultimately, SmackDown was not it, man. And I think the main problem is, obviously Cody's not there, so they haven't built up enough / have enough of their top guys there that can, talk on the microphone for 10 minutes and captivate us with a story. They don't have enough people there like that. It's they have people that can do it, but those type of people that can do that are not there often. And the people that have the potential to do that haven't been, pushed to be a world champion yet. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they can keep building up hopefully they can build up the stars that are actually getting over and have a chance of getting over. Hopefully they can build them up pretty quickly, because this show needs more people that are established, top guys. So whether that's elevating somebody to the main event scene like a LA Knight or whoever, or whether that's, continuing to do what they're doing with Jacob, obviously, as they should be doing, the quicker the better, because we need more stars that, not saying they're going to be at Cena's level, but just more stars that can go a while on the microphone and captivate us with a story, because ultimately those are bigger takeaways than just having good matches. Not that those aren't important, but the bigger takeaways is the promo segments, right? Because those are the things that tell the story more than the matches do, because the matches mainly tell the story when you save it for a big PLE and stuff like that, or a massive TV match, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. But anyway, love and appreciate you guys. At the end of the day, what can I say? It is what it is, and what it's going to be is a project continue to come out with the content adventures bangers over and over again for you guys. Hopefully this video can get uploaded so that I can complete my, daily goal of 2 videos a day, as it is about to be like 10 minutes up until midnight. But love and appreciate you guys, man. We're gonna keep doing our thing, doing well. Like, comment, subscribe to all the socials down below. Hit that post notification bell so that you know the second a video drops. And I shall see you in the next one, man. That is the vibe that DJ's on. Have a good night.